questions. MPC as well as ZK Technologies to create a very carefully crafted data network. I'll just take a few seconds and shed some light on the architecture of our actual Karat data network. So, at the very base level, we have a data storage layer where we've been working very closely with Ceramic to store user identity data in an extremely decentralized manner. Above that, we have an encryption and decryption layer, which is basically focusing on the encryption process, which is fully decentralized, which is also powered by threshold cryptography and lit protocol. Above that, we sort of have our access control layer, which actually has the real smart contracts built on Ethereum, where they are used to grant access to those who can view or interact with user data. Then, of course, like incentivizing the user first, allowing the user to opt in for what data of theirs they want to share. And at the very top, like at the surface level of this like Web3 ecosystem, we have our application layer, which is basically with regard to our DApps, where we have Web2 outreach, we have targeted marketing, we're going to be building out our data marketplace. So we're leveraging both MPC and ZK technology in an extremely effective and acute way because the data architecture is something which our CTO, Mr. Charles Wang, who's an ex Apple lead engineer, has worked very, very, very closely on. And we've tried to make sure that at the very core of what we're building is this privacy preserving and security preserving sort of mechanism where that's why we selected MPC and ZK. And that's also another reason for why we've had so many synergies with projects on ZK Sync and the network itself. But great question.
Yeah, and great answer as well. It really gives us a little bit of like a better understanding, and it's very very interesting how all this, as you said, all this energy kind of come together and works. So thank you so much for the answer, and also thank you the user for the question. Okay, after checking a little bit more in the chat, a lot of people are dropping their questions. Thank you so much, guys, for doing that. I have the next question ready, and it says, how does Karat DAO handle risk, and what measure do you have in place to protect your investors' assets during
Great
volatile
question.
market conditions? Because we know that
Great
maybe
question.
this industry
Of
exactly
course.
is a little bit.
Of course. Great question. So for that, I'll just go back to the tokenomics distribution that we spoke about earlier. So we spent months and months trying to come up with a structure of tokenomics, and even the verify to earn concept was extremely closely focusing on what sort of a token release would be both mutually beneficial to like projects and users that are in our ecosystem, but also protect them, because what we see a lot in the Web3 space, and which is very pertinent to the question that he asked, that the user asked, is we need to be able to protect users because Web3 is a new industry and all these problems are there. So, like I said, we have a total of 2 billion Karat tokens, and given that 70% are set just for community social mining over the next decade, we've only kept 70 million CAT tokens to be available in the first few months after, like today, after August 22nd. So, what we're doing by doing that and having a very slow release of these tokens is we're actually incentivizing that share of data. Because if we were able to just like, if we were to have like a full circulation like out on the first day, what would happen is it would end up being more a play on retail psychology and less the opportunity to actually exercise the utility of the token. So now by releasing say 70 million in the coming months, what we're able to do is every time we're much more cautious in the sense of which we're building this data network, and it's going to be every time users are actually incentivized, only will it then be released to them, if that makes sense. And beyond that, like I said, only 10% of the total circulation goes to the team, and the remaining 30% is also for like the team advisors, the marketing, the operations, the investors, and that too is locked up for 4 years with a gradual monthly release. So every preset structure in our tokenomics plan has been very carefully thought out to make sure that no matter how volatile the market conditions get, the supply and the release is extremely, extremely, extremely well focused on protecting the user funds and the user assets, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does. And it's very important. It's very good as well that not only that you're transparent about it, but you share it with the community as well, and they have a clear view of how it works. And so, as you said very clearly, no matter how the market goes, you make sure everything is stable, everything is ready, you have your plan steady, and it's going to be there for the long run. So it's
Hmm.
really really good. Thank you,
Fantastic.
Chef, for the answer. Okay, so now we have reached the last question, and there was a few that I was checking, but I think this one might be interesting actually. And it says, "How does
Sure.
Carrot DAO envision its technology being utilized in real world use cases beyond the user said cryptocurrency space?" I would even extend it to like the kind of the whole ecosystem, right? So can you provide example
Sure.
of industries or
Of
application that
course.
could benefit from your platform? I think it's
Of
even more
course.
if you're
Great
planning
question.
to stay in the long run, like 10 years from now. That's
Great
very
question.
important. Yeah.
Great question. Great question. So I'll answer this question in two parts. For the first part, I'll just talk about we need to understand the pre-existing system of data flow in Web 2 to truly understand the impact of Carrot DAO in Web 3. Data, whether we're talking about Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, it's monopolized and it's close to controlled in an extremely unfair manner. Where it takes me back to this very interesting quote, which says that if the product is free, then you are the product or you are the price that you're paying for it. And that's exactly what Instagram and a lot of these Web 2 platforms have created for us, which is helpful in the short run. But in the long run, we don't have this control over our data. So the shift that we were able to create is extremely crucial because data ownership is something which is not just pertinent to Web3, but it's pertinent to any user of any digital interface, I believe, across the globe. So that's why, just starting off, we've already been obsessively focusing on building with different D apps within the Web3 ecosystem, which have a range of different actual utilities. So we're not just focusing on like exchanges with a maximum reach, but we're actively focusing on projects across DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi, and across different actual utility gaining branches of the Web3 ecosystem. And going a little beyond that in the years to come, we think that once every individual and once we're able to reach millions of users and we have this data ownership as a secured, mutually beneficial sort of concept, which is benefiting all the users, we're truly looking to go into stuff like medical ID data. We're looking to go into using ZK privacy centric data. So whether it's with regard to legal domains, whether it's with regard to domains such as medical ID, whether it's with domains such as other business domains like real estate, etc., anything which utilizes identity. And I truly also believe that an important thing to consider here is as Web3 grows and as the blockchain technology intertwines itself with more and more industries across the world, there will be a greater need to actually have a network which facilitates that element of data ownership. And that's why I believe that in the years to come, and like once the bull market is back on and once there's active dollars flowing into the space on a larger level, we'll truly be able to see which of these industries can benefit. Because the way I see it going is once the bull market is back on, we will definitely have more and more industries intertwining itself with Web3. Like we already saw in the last bull cycle, we had the real estate sector, which had started entering. We had different retail sectors and different like shopping, fashion, etc. brands that had started utilizing cryptocurrencies. So I truly believe that as more and more industries intertwine itself with Web3 and blockchain tech, such as medical ID data and hospitals, etc., that is truly when the element of data ownership is going to be able to reach its full effectiveness.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. And the example that you gave with the medical ID identification part, I totally see that in the near future, not even in the long run, but like near future, and it will definitely benefit this option that you're given. Like this application will definitely benefit more than one industry. So good, thank you so much for your answer.
Fantastic. Appreciate it.
Yeah, actually, I think all of the answers, I mean, all of the questions that we got were very interesting, and all of the answers that you provide, Shift, were very, very enlightening. And so thank you so much
Appreciate it.
for that. Yeah. Okay, so we have reached the end of this AMA. I would like to thank everyone who dropped a question. Obviously, congratulate the 5 lucky winners. Thank you so much for your questions, guys. They were incredible. But once again, I would like to thank everyone that just joined us and dropped a question, because that's obviously, without you guys, this wouldn't make much sense, right? Also, I would like to thank you, Chef, and obviously Karat Dao, the project as well, for joining us here, for joining the Gate family, and for doing this AMA today.
Likewise, I'd like to thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, guys, just once again, remember, Chief mentioned today, 22nd of August, is the day that you can join their platform and get some free cat tokens. Just mention it again, just reminding you, you lose nothing. You actually can win some tokens. So just go and join them. And just we will have some other AMAs ready for you. You know, we always have ready almost every week. We want to give you the opportunity with these AMAs to discover new projects, to ask questions to new projects. In this occasion, it's been a pleasure to be here with Karat DAO project. So please stay tuned. Thank you for joining Gate.io family. And once again, thank you so much, Shiv, for joining us here today with Karat DAO project.
Absolute pleasure. Pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Bye. I hope you have a great week and see you in the next AMA. Bye, guys.